Good morning everybody. I've started another project and I really should have started filming before, but it doesn't matter. I can bring you up to speed in a couple of minutes. But first of all, I want to go up this ladder and show you what I'm doing. I'm in the eaves. I want to put new soffit boards in. Now the Austrian way of doing soffit boards, you can see they didn't cut off the ends of these spars. They used to come right down where you can see the shape of it, and I've had to cut that off because I want to put straight soffit boards in. And you can see here I've been building like a framework to put flat soffit boards in. Before, the Austrian way is to bring the boards down that way and following the contour of the spar there, look like that right down. And so the fascia board before, which I put a new fascia board on here, you can see is flat and new guttering, that's flat, but the fascia board before was on an angle like that, the way the spar finished like that, it finished like that, and they put the fascia board on an angle, which just is a lazy way of doing it. Now in the US and in the UK we cut the ends of the spars off straight and then put a flat fascia board on, which is what I've done here on both sides. And now I want to put soffit boards in, and I've been constructing like a framework, look, and I'm doing it all off a ladder. It's not easy. I've had to put in there, look, and then level that up. Somewhere I got my level wrong, I put the wrong line in, but I've got it straight now. And you can see now I'll be putting the boards in there, and they'll be flush and they'll be hiding all this, so the boards will come from there right over to the fascia board, and it's up there so that it's above the level there and the water won't get it. Okay, if you follow my meaning, so the board will finish there, well up on the fascia board. Anyway, so that's as far as I've got, and I've got to do that all the way along off this ladder, which is a long way up, and I've got to get all this level, so it's a bit of a tedious job. But once it's done and I've worked it out exactly where that will be the end of the soffit board there, I might put a double lat in there and give me a bit more space because the board will finish there. Anyway, so that's as far as I've got to put in the next one. And these lengths here, I'm cutting exactly the same length as a soffit board, so I know when I get to the end of this, like that one there, look, I know that's where the soffit board's going to end. Alright, so I'm about halfway now. Look, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get up there and I can show you a bit better. And I've come across one or two little problems, made a couple of mistakes, but I righted them before I started. So let me tell you what I did and the procedure I did. Let me put that level there. Right, so what I did was I nailed these bits of wood on the inside here and I gave it a lip, so when I put my soffit board up, it's above there. And then I measured through with this little level. I cut a piece of wood and I measured through and I got that level like that, and I marked it on the other side, and that was the mark there, and so I drew a line. So now I've got that on there. These, I don't know whether you can see, but they're all pretty level now, level with each other, so when I put the soffit boards on I've got places to nail, and it'll never come down, and it will hide all this horrible woodwork and shit up here. So it'll be more sellable after. Alright fellas, I've packed up for the day. I've got to there, look, that spar there with that sprag. So I've only got another 6 foot to go. I'll show you the rest when they're in, and then we'll get the underneath cut. It's only thin ply. Get them painted up and get them up, and job done then. And then I've got the other side to do, and I might show you that in a bit more detail. Right fellas, I'm on the second side and about 2/3 the way along, and you can see I have to take this ladder down bring it down and put it in this next section. I've got to put it in between here. So that's where I've got, and I'll be completing this when I get back. I'm not sure if I've shown you, but I've got this side done now. I'll film it again from underneath there, see if it's recording. Yeah, so you can see it's done all the way along, and I've just got to finish off this soffit board at this end here, and this is how we do it in England, although slightly different because I've had to mackle it up. I've sawn off that end there, so there's about maybe an inch overhang. So water can't go back up and damage that soffit board, and I've cut a piece off there that will square it up, and it's right here. Now I know it looks a bit rough, but I'm going to paint it in a minute. I blocked off that end lot there. I've got to cement that there. I blocked off that end, and I will paint that again, and that will go there like that, and it gives that end like a squared off effect, how we do in England. So I will nail and screw it to that there, and them nails are not in the right place. They just want to go in another centimetre, and then they'll catch on that wood there. So I'll put 2 nails in there and then some screws in. So let me get that done, and I'll film it again when I've painted it. Right, so I'll put it on, give it a coat of paint. I don't know if I've got underneath or right, it looks like I have. And now I've got to go up that ladder there and just mastic underneath and all the way along, which means I've got to take the ladder down for each section in that thing there where I've got the grapes growing. And that's a pain in the bum, but I want to do this correct, get it done, and get that cement work done there, and get that painted, and I've done here. And you see, this is the other side. Look, you can probably see all the way down there. Not done. Got to get this done the same, and do the same here. Cut it off, and you can see how it's finished now. Well, it'll look like the other side squaring a bit. So, and there's the new roof what I done 2 years ago. An all new fascia boards. I couldn't get wood that wide. Just can't buy it in Austria anyway. Don't ask me why, I don't know. They just don't do wood any wider than 20 centimetres, and that's it. Crazy. So I've had to do the fascia in 2 sections. Look, I know it don't look nice, but I will paint that up again next year. Okay guys and gals, this is the day after I've been in bed for 3 days with a bad back. Couldn't move at all. Absolutely in agony. Woke up this morning totally gone. Back to normal. So I've started putting up these soffits, look, as you can see. And I've got up to there. But made a slight mistake. But it's not going to take me 5 minutes to put it right. And that's why I'm going up the ladder to show you now where I've made the mistake. Now I measured these out, and I'm slightly under, because I can fix that, you see, like that, with a screw in there and across here, but I've got to put one in here now, just there, so when I get the next one on, it'll finish on the end there. I could just screw it to there and there, but that's not sufficient. I like to put screws in the middle, because it's very, very thin stuff, this is. For the soffits, I've got to do the edges there, look, you can see. Either colour them in or mastic them in. Same on this end. And as it gets down towards that end, down there, it gets a bit wider. So I couldn't have cut these ends off too square, but you know, considering I did it all off a ladder, I'm not complaining. So I've got one and a half boards to go on, look, you can see. And as I put them up, I screw them into there. I screw them on the edges there and the edge there, look. And you see that's up above the fascia board there, about an inch. So that's not affected by the weather or the water, any water that runs down there. Anyway, so I'll go and get the next piece, put that piece in, get the next piece, and I'll get my wife to film that as I'm putting it up. They're very light, these, so it's not too much of a problem putting it up on my own. I just balance it on my head. Once I've got it levelled up with that, balance it up, have the ladder about there, about a metre away, a metre and a bit, and I'll push the board along until it contacts with that edge there, and then I know I've got it right. There we go. Soffits finished right the way through that side. The job's complete, and I'll just take you around the other side now. There you can see. And I had to do all this off a ladder, and this was the worst side because I've got all this like overhang here, this thing here that I keep the bikes underneath, and I have to get the ladders in between and then take it down, put it back up again, take it down, put it back up. But you can see all the soffits are now done and painted, so job's complete. Tidy job, as one of my colleagues would say.